Hello, everybody. Thanks for checking out today's broadcast. My audio is working, I hope. It appears to be working here for me. My name is Jonathan. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos, today is day 171 of my 3-year weight loss challenge. I decided at the end of 2020 that it was time to get my weight under control. And so starting on November 1st, I began a very strict diet. I went for 42 days water fasted, and then I've switched over since then to a whole food plant-based diet with no added salt, oil, or sugar. So far, I've lost over 160 pounds, and I kind of think I did hit that kind of pound a day here point. I think I went over that in the last few days. I guess last Wednesday I gained a couple pounds too, which affected that. But anyways, if anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear about anybody else's success with their weight loss. If anybody has any questions too, feel free to ask them, whether it's live or not. I'll answer them if it's after the fact. If this is your first time here, or if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell, or click on the bell icon to turn on notifications so you'll be alerted when I do go live, which is usually at 4 p.m. Central on weekdays. It's been really a great day. Every day is a great day now that I'm losing this weight. As far as non-scale victories, every day it's the physical, being able to, just be more flexible. I was playing with the kids in the house this morning or last night, and I was like bear crawling with my feet in my hands, and I had no issue with flexibility to get into the position. I had no issue holding and playing, and that's something that, while I was doing it and after, I recognized that is not something I would have done or been able to do 5 months ago. And so that just being able to be more active with them and doing things with them is definitely a plus, which would always kind of be a non-scale victory for me. As far as food goes, I've really Carrie made the potato curry last night that she makes, and it was probably the best I've had. To me, it tasted the best. I don't know if there was a whole lot different. I think she added maybe a little bit more tomato, and there was some other vegetables, but not a lot. But overall, it was, it's satisfying. I can eat as much as I want. I don't feel bad about it at all or guilty about what I'm eating. And then, when I'm at work, I just don't have a lot around. And like I was talking about yesterday, I'm just not driven to eat as much. I'm not looking for filling up. I'm not looking to fill up my downtime or my boredom with eating like I did before, because like I said, I feel like that was I could at least say I was doing something. If I'm eating, I'm doing something, and that's the easiest thing to do when you're overweight, is to just eat, because you don't want to do the activity. Carrie's here saying hello. Hi, Carrie. I hope everything's going great today at home. So the food, I don't eat a lot during the day, and I'm not too concerned about it. I don't get too hungry. By the time I get home, I definitely am looking to eat when I get home. Wink, wink. When I get home. But we have enough snacks and oranges and things like that. And I could have gone shopping today, except for I can't find a mask. And so I couldn't. I know I can get a mask easy, or they're all over the place, but I didn't feel like messing with it, and it wasn't that big a deal. And one of the things I wanted to talk about with I was talking about the food, not eating as much. One of the other things that's right, I'm having leftovers from yesterday. That's what I told her to do, is we'll just have leftovers. And instead of taking that here for lunch today because I had a can of corn for lunch today, and I think that's yeah, can of corn is all I've eaten here at all today. Um, but with the food, I'm noticing that I'm not craving as much or I'm not eating as much. And the same thing with the water is that I feel like we've always been told you had to drink a gallon of water, you had to drink a certain amount of water, or 8 glasses of water a day, I guess would be like the recommendation. And I'm not getting anywhere near that right now. Just, I mean, I'm getting a few glasses a day, and maybe I'm getting there and I'm not realizing it, but I'm not like finding that I'm real thirsty. I think that because there's so much water in the food that I'm eating, that I don't find myself craving, a whole lot of water, I guess would be one of the things I was going to add yesterday when I was talking about the not eating as much as the water too. It's another one of those things where you're kind of told you have to have a certain amount, or you're supposed to have a certain supposed to hit a certain metric with it, and if you don't, then and I think that even in one of the books that I listened to, they talked a little bit about that it's uh a lot of those metrics that people talk about hitting are based off of diets that are based off of diet, like the standard American diet, and so it doesn't necessarily agree with the diet that we're eating now, and so that's one of the things that it's hard to break the mentality of like that what they've told you is as fact is not really fact, or it's very biased fact. The book, they were talking about the meat industry and how the meat industry is allowed to they add water to meat, and they don't necessarily have to disclose everything that's in the water, or they don't have to one of the things he talked about is they don't necessarily have to get permission to change stuff that's in our food, because they are given their own oversight. They're given the ability to uh, oversee themselves to make sure that they're doing okay. So as long as they say it's safe, then they can do it, because they as long as they believe it's safe, I guess, then it's okay. Uh, and it's really weird because there's lots of things that they can add in that he was talking about that can have pretty bad effects on you. But just the whole, like I was saying, the metric, like it, they told us we had to eat, drink. They've been telling us that we have to drink so many glasses of water a day, or we have to eat X number of vegetables, or we have to eat this number of things, or you need to run this much, or do this much activity in a day. And it's impossible now to know what is biased and what is fact, or and it can be biased and it can be fact, but it's if it's biased, there's more of a chance of there being, like, again, he talks about they couldn't have a certain chemical in it, but if they derive it from a plant source, then they can put that chemical in a food, because it doesn't come from an animal source, even though it has the same effect on the body. It's just that they're uh, I don't know, it was something with celery juice or celery extract, where they're just taking a very high concentration of a single part of it and then fermenting it to make it something that uh, makes it more enjoyable or more palatable, I'm sure. And at the same time, we have no idea what those things have, and long term effect of our body. the other thing he talked about, and it doesn't necessarily affect me much, but he talks a lot about, or one of the section of the book I'm reading right now is talking about breast cancer, and he talks a lot about how, like, we don't know that those things are happening in the body until it's too late. We don't have good early detection, um, a good way to detect that early. And so many times it's been growing for multiple years before it becomes in a position where it can be seen on a scan or is found uh, by the woman. And so, uh, but he also talks about that is just like that's like the quickest it could happen is a couple of years, where what they're finding is that it's happening over the course of 10 or 20 years, that you just have one cancer cell and then it takes maybe 6 months for that to divide to two, and then it takes it's taking longer. And so you're actually living with cancer for a lot longer than you even realize, based off and a lot of the evidence shows that eating animal protein is contributing to those cancers, and eating whole food plant-based diet is either helping to slow down the progression of these cancers or these issues, or it is improving people's lives. uh, Again, it's just so wild that, like, and I talk about it at home when I talk to Carrie about the book, because she listened to the book before me. And the book I'm talking about is How Not to Die by Dr. Greger, if I didn't say that before now. That there's so many studies and so many findings that he is reporting and he is using, that if he was if he was saying things that weren't backed up, or he couldn't support or corroborate, anyways, uh I would imagine he'd be getting he'd be getting sued every day because of the stuff he's saying. But like I said, I talked to Carrie about it, and she said that a lot of times people say that the book is like three parts. It's the first part where it's like the how not to die, or it talks about all the diseases. The second part is what he recommends, and then the third part of the book is just the citation of the bibliography, uh, where he cites everything that he claims, because he's using he's using examples from studies that are small as 10 people up to studies that are 5,000 people, all courses, all areas or level of scientific value, whether there was double blind, placebo controlled, or if it's just some guy in his garage feeding some stuff. And so I'm going to continue to recommend to listen to the book if you haven't listened to the book. The other books too, The Pleasure Trap and Eat to Live, are also books I would highly recommend as well, um, that I've read since I started doing this. Uh, let's see. So yeah, I talked about being more active, listening to the book. Tomorrow is going to be weigh-in Wednesday. I have a hard time not getting on the scale, so especially after last week, with gaining the pound, I was kind of bummed. So I have been kind of peeking at it, and I'm looking to do okay tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be down past I think it was a pound and a half I had gained, so I'd be 51.6 or something was my lowest. I should have kept that up there now that I think about it, but whatever. It's not going to be my lowest for very long. I will definitely get the weight off. Uh, yeah, it's been interesting because I have been at this 365, so it's 363 going into March, and I lost about 10 pounds in the 2 weeks, but I feel great. I'm sure I'm gaining all kinds of muscle just from being active, right? It's all muscle. But But yeah, and I talked a little bit about it at home too. Is that when I lost 130 pounds or however much I lost 8 years ago, I got down to 285. I started at 420 and or 410 or something. And so I'm like right in the middle of where I was like during that weight loss. So I would have been 8 years ago. So I would have been much younger. Uh, but I I just don't remember. I feel as good now as I felt like I felt at the end there. And I can probably attribute some of that to being that I have lost more weight than I did then, because I've lost over 160 pounds. So it is, uh, it's kind of a weird, like so I'm further away from my highest than I was 8 years ago, but I'm not. I'm still 60 pounds away from getting to my lowest, uh, which is gonna feel great. When I lose 60 more pounds, I'm gonna feel amazing. And I was, and I've been joking with Carrie or talking, because my goal is to lose 300 pounds to get down to 219.8. Uh, and it's gonna be tough to get there, but that will be the lightest I can ever really remember weighing. I was probably over 200 pounds in eighth grade. I know I mean, I'm sure. I'm certain I was. Because my freshman year, I was over 275 pounds going into my freshman year, or at the beginning of my freshman year, I was over 275. Uh, so it's gonna be great to get down there, and I just can't wait. It just can't come soon enough. Uh, and and again, it's not been a struggle as far as the food. That is a huge difference over every other time. I mean, every other time when I really think about it, I think anytime I've had major success, I've been taking an appetite suppressant or I've had something to help me with my appetite. I've lost 50s or 30s or 60 pounds, without that, but I couldn't sustain the calorie deficit that's required to do that. And when I lost that 110 pounds, it was, I mean, in hindsight, at the time I was giving myself credit, and then there is some credit to it, but uh, it was medical intervention. I mean, it was pills, it was chemical intervention. It wasn't, surgery, but it wasn't me doing it. And this time, it's been me losing the weight every pound. It's not been me uh, taking a suppressant or doing something to try to cheat the system or try to get there. The fasting would be, that's the quickest way I could think of, I suppose, to lose weight was to not bring anything in. And that obviously had its own mental struggles, but I also was very excited about doing it. I was, had a lot of adrenaline going into that. I guess adrenaline's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Motivation to succeed with that. And I had fasted for 30 days in the past, a year and a half ago, and I came off thinking I was going to do keto or carnivore, and that means that 4 days after my fast, I'm at the Burger King drive-through thinking, this is keto, right? This is if I don't eat the bun, if I just eat the meat, and then that turns into a year and a half later. Um, Carrie says, I think I would always think of it the things I would eat once I lost the weight. I feel like this is just going to be how I eat for the rest of my life, maybe adding some salt. Yeah, that is a big difference in this diet, is that all the other diets have been the means to the end. But this, and my kids uh ask a lot, is that on your diet or is this on your diet? And I explained it. I was like, well, whatever you eat is your diet. Like you're like it's the word diet is used to mean, losing weight or to, but your diet, and so the yeah, so like when I lost all that weight and I was taking those pills, I wasn't eating a diet. I wasn't eating a sustainable diet. I was maybe uh definitely wasn't well balanced diet. Uh that was definitely not being what I was doing. You know, it wasn't what I was doing. And the whole time I think, you know, thinking about it now, is that I had convinced myself that I'm going to eat, you know, 600 calories till I get to my goal, and then I'm going to learn how to eat like a 200-pound or 250-pound person. And that it's a fallacy that you think you're going to be able to just flip that switch when you get there. And now it can happen, and you can do it. I wouldn't uh, say that it can't be done, but it's not as easy as you would want it to be. And now I feel like I'm eating as much food as a 220-pound person. I'm eating as much, like, in, again, I'd have to check calories and things like that, but I'm eating a sustainable number of calories. I'm eating well over 1,000 calories. I'm probably pushing 2,000 calories many days, and the uh and I'm still losing weight, and I'm not feeling, I feel great too. Like I'm not portioning out ounces of meat so I can eat 4 ounces of steak at dinner or lunch and eat 250 calories of this, and it's all uh and the weight loss is just happening, I guess. You know, it's just uh and I don't know. Like I talked about the other day, sometimes when I eat the food, I feel like, you know, I get a rush of like a great feeling, not a rush of like I gotta go to the bathroom feeling, like I get a lot of times with the old diet. And there's uh there's been like nothing that I've eaten that's upset my stomach to think about it. Like I can't think of anything that has caused me digestive issues that I've eaten in the past couple months. And so, hey, what's going on, Joe? Stopping and saying hi. But so yeah, that would be um the thing for that. I lost my train of thought now. I don't know what I was talking about. Um, but yeah, just the the ease of this diet, once I've gotten into the groove, or once I've gotten into uh the thick of it, is so much better than I ever would have thought coming in. You know, like I said, every diet, it's always been, you know, the struggle each morning to not eat the wrong thing or to not do the wrong thing. And I don't feel any of that. I don't feel any dissatisfaction from the volume of food I get to eat. And that, I think, is the number one thing that our bodies really care about, is the amount of food that we eat. Uh, I Yeah, I mean, I could still eat a ton of food. I could still eat multiple servings. You know, I ate a ton of pasta on Sunday just because I had it for lunch and dinner. But it was something that, again, it's guilt-free eating, and as long as I keep losing weight, and we'll find that out tomorrow. So I'm gonna get out of here today, and I'm gonna get on tomorrow. I will not be on Thursday, but I will be back on Friday. So again, thank you for checking out my videos. If you guys are, you know, keep watching my videos, I appreciate it. Make sure that you like the video, comment, you know, subscribe to the channel. We have the Instagram at Fosting, and then the Discord is linked down below. Uh, you know, and yeah, I just hope all you guys are succeeding on your diets. If you're sitting there saying I've tried everything and I can't do it and I've not done it, try a whole food plant-based diet for 2 weeks. Just give it 2 weeks. It's you're gonna eat a lot of oranges, or you're gonna rely on something, but give it a chance because it's worth the effort and it's worth how I feel. So, with that, guys, I want to thank you for checking out the broadcast today. You guys all have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow for the weigh-in. I'd love it if you guys shared how you are doing, either on here, or you can share it in the Discord too. I just want to see people succeeding at their weight loss. So everybody have a great afternoon or evening. And if I don't see you, good morning.